What's happening in Europe right now? Left-wing agitators, they just sprayed Iran's exiled crown prince with red liquid in Berlin. It is clear that the global left prefers what? Islamofascism that's now in charge in Iran. Here with reaction, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. You know, we've been watching the steady decline of Europe. They have neglected not only NATO with their minor contribution, we pay 2/3 of it. They have neglected their own national security as a continent, as individual countries. They have allowed unfettered illegal immigration without assimilation. You see that with Sharia courts, no-go zones in Europe. And on top of that, they've embraced radical socialism alarmism, what the radical left would want to do here. When this is all said and done and this shakes out and they didn't have the moral clarity to stand with us against the #1 state sponsor of terror, how do you see this playing out?
Yeah, Sean, the assault on Mr. Pahlavi in Europe was shocking, but I can't say that it's surprising. As you said, they've had mass migration from the third world. They don't have control of their own borders. They've had left-wing radicalism for decades. That's what the left wants to bring to America as well. Did you notice that there were no protests on campus this week when Iran was talking about executing a number of female political prisoners? No left-wing agitators in the streets. In fact, the only person that seemed to comment about it was Donald Trump, asking the Iranians not to execute those female prisoners. Yet, anytime the United States or Israel tries to defend ourselves, defends our people, attack a terrorist regime in Iran, you have left-wing agitators marching in the street across America. And that's the future that the left wants for America. They look at what's going on in Europe, and they don't see a cautionary tale, they see a roadmap.
How do you explain this? It's a bit of a dichotomy that the president is asking them, in one case, on the one hand, to free these women. They agree to do that. The president, on the other hand, is trying to get them to do a deal that will ensure their future and the future of their economy for them and their people and ensure that they stay alive, and they can't resolve that part. You know, it makes it a very hard read for most Americans.
Yeah, Sean, I think this is the typical Iranian playbook. They're trying to tap America along. Iran has never won a war, but they've never lost a negotiation. But they never sat across the table negotiating with the guy that wrote The Art of the Deal. President Trump has proven time and again, from the Soleimani strike to Operation Midnight Hammer to Operation Epic Fury, that he won't allow the Iranians to tap him along. He just reiterated the very clear and simple goals. They can't have nuclear enrichment. They can't have a nuclear infrastructure. They can't have long-range offensive strike weapons or support terrorists like Hezbollah and Hamas. These have been his clearly stated goals for a decade. And if Iran thinks that they're going to get the better of him at the negotiating table by dragging things out, I think they have another thing coming. And that another thing coming may be from the American military.
How do you analyze this blockade in as much as it's been 100% effective? The Iranians have no economy without oil. Now that they won't have any place to store the oil that they're pumping, that means they're going to have to shut those wells down. Are they going to let it get to that point? Because at that point now it becomes a financial disaster for them, and they are already struggling mightily financially.
Yeah, Sean, the blockade has been incredibly effective. It's a classic move by President Trump. Iran said, we're going to close the Strait of Hormuz to your traffic. And President Trump says, no, we're going to close it to all traffic, to include yours, and for that matter, from your ports outside the Strait of Hormuz. They're losing hundreds of millions of dollars a day in revenue that they can't afford. And Sean, this is a very important point about their oil infrastructure that you've made now. I just want to repeat. These oil wells are not like a water faucet in your kitchen. You can't just turn them on and turn them off. And Iran's oil infrastructure in particular is old and brittle. And if they have to shut off those oil wells because they've run out of storage capacity in the coming days, it'll be catastrophic. It'll cause damage that they cannot reverse. And I know that's causing a lot of tension inside of Iran. The president does as well. That's why time is not on Iran's side right now.
Yeah. And how quickly do you see this wrapping up? I mean, does there come a choke point where they can't go on anymore?
Sean, I don't want to hazard a guess about how long it will last, but I'll say this. I don't think the Iranian leadership right now is going to outlast Donald Trump. He's been very clear and straightforward for 10 years about America's vital national security interests in the region. We've already devastated their military. We now have them in an economic vice that gets tighter every single day. This is not President Obama. This is not President Biden, people that let these negotiations drag on for years. President Trump is cut from a different cloth.
All right. Senator Cotton, Arkansas, thank you. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.